Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. The Honorable Examiners of this thesis examination. Good morning, Bapak Doni Sofian, Ibu Diani Pradespatiwi, and Ibu Diah Cahya Iman. And the Honorable my thesis supervisor, Ibu Maruzayani. My name is Najwa Ulin. First of all, thank you very much for your time and invaluable feedback during the previous seminar. And today I will present the revision that I have made to my thesis based on all the suggestions from the examiners. The first suggestions is from Bapak Doni Sofian. Pak Doni suggested clarifying the previous study sections on page number 5 and the data analysis method on page number 10. And the revision that I have made is I strengthened and explained the previous study sections. And then in the data analysis method, I specified that close reading uses two main theories, Black feminism and to answer what happened with Luthi Johnson's, and RBTS theories to answer how the psychological impact occurred. And this is on revised page number 17. And next is the suggestion from Ibu Diani Pradespatiwi. Ibu Diani asked to add research issues and findings to the abstract. And my revision is I wrote the abstract on the abstract page, and it now includes the research problem that Black women in the 1940s centuries faces racism, sexism, and economic exploitation. And the finding is 3 layers of oppressions like physical, psychological, and social, and 5 sequential RBTS symptoms in Luthi Johnson's. This has been added this 2-page abstract of the revised thesis, and then another suggestion from Ibu Diani Pradespatiwi was to add contemporary relevance to the background section. I add 1 paragraph and on page number 2, this one. It's explaining that even though Jim Crow laws have been abolished, systemic racism still exists. And then I mentioned the Black Lives Matter movement, and how current Black women experience mirror Luthi's struggle. Then the readers can see that the street remains relevant for analysis today. And Bu Diani also suggested to adding a literature review that specifically on race-based traumatic stress theory. So I included Zane's. I'm sorry. Zane's in 2022. A study on RBTS and main characters of Dear Martin, and this study serves as a strong comparison because it also uses characters theory, and I place it on page number 5. And the last suggestion from Ibu Diani was to add an introduction to Luthi's character and her relationship with other characters. I wrote a new subsection, not subsection. I read it in the early of chapter 4, on page 27. I wrote about Jones, Bootsmith, Junto, and Chandler family. This explanation helps readers to understand the power hierarchy that causes Luthi's trauma. And the next is suggestions from Ibu Diah Cahaya Iman. Budia asked to include the research finding and the abstract, so I have revised the abstract. And the abstract now not only states the topic, but also the analysis result, the three layers operation like physical, psychological, and social violence, injustice, and then five sequential RBTS symptoms like hypervigilance, and then denial and self-blame, and then feelings of entrapment, emotional numbness and anger, and the last is traumatic outbursts. Next, Bu Dia also suggested me to add information about the novel, the novel author, Anne Petrie, in background of the study, and I add information about Anne Petrie on the page number 1. Also, Budia suggested restructuring the section on Collins' matrix of domination to make it more systematic. So I added some paragraph on the Black feminist theory, and added structures like structural domain and disciplinary domain, and then hegemonic domain, and the last is interpersonal domain. Now, readers can more easily understand how these four domains work together to oppose Slutty Johnsons. And Budia suggested to make a structured analysis on the page number 37. So there is hypervigilance, and then denial, self-blame, feeling of entrapment, emotional numbing and anger, and the last is traumatic outbursts that culminate in violence. Next, the last suggestions from Budia was the strengthen the conclusion section, and then I wrote the conclusion on page 45. First, the three types of violence that they experience, and then the 5 RBTS symptoms that worsen from hypervigilant to violent outbursts, and finally, the affirmation that the psychological damage is not personal weakness, but is a systemic consequence of matrix dominations. This fully answers the research question. And then those are the main revisions that I have completed. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.